Marco Asensio, born in silence, remembered in moments he was never the loudest talent. No chaos, no arrogance, no urgency to be seen. Marco Asensio grew up in Mallorca, far from the noise of football capitals, where dreams were shaped quietly. The ball listened to him early. His left foot spoke softly, but clearly. At RCD Mallorca, he wasn't rushed. He learned timing, patience, control. Then came the move. At Real Madrid, talent alone was never enough. Legends surrounded him. Expectations towered. Minutes were earned, not given. And yet, when the moment arrived, he didn't hesitate. Finals, Super Cups, Champions League nights. A single strike from distance. Clean. Cold. Unavoidable. The stadium erupted. He didn't. Asensio celebrated with restraint, as if he knew something others didn't. That moments matter more than noise. In a team of stars, he waited. And when football asked for composure, he answered with precision. But fate is never linear. Just as belief began to grow, everything stopped. When time stopped, momentum is fragile. Just as belief settled, the body betrayed him. In a preseason moment that meant nothing, everything changed. The injury wasn't loud. It didn't scream. It ended silence. Months disappeared. Training became memory. Matches turned into distant echoes. At Real Madrid, the world didn't pause. New stars arrived. Systems evolved. Patience thinned. Asensio watched. Rehab replaced rhythm. Pain replaced instinct. But silence teaches. He learned restraint, relearned trust in movement, rebuilt belief without applause. There were doubts. Would the speed return? The confidence? The instinct for space? No one asked him directly. The answers would be demanded on the pitch. When he finally returned, he didn't rush. Touches were measured. Runs were cautious. Shots chosen carefully. It wasn't the same Asensio. Not yet. But something deeper had formed. Patience. Awareness. A sharper understanding of moments. Because sometimes, talent survives injury, but maturity is born from it. And Marco Asensio was preparing for his second beginning. Learning to belong again. Coming back is harder than arriving. At Real Madrid, nothing waits. Minutes are borrowed. Opportunities are rare. Mistakes are permanent. Asensio returned to a different reality. The squad was deeper. The pace sharper. Trust harder to earn. He wasn't the promise anymore. He was the question. Every substitution felt like a test. Every touch, a verdict. But he adapted. Not with speed, with intelligence. He found pockets of space others ignored. Chose moments instead of forcing them. Struck when the game slowed. Goals returned quietly. Long shots that cut through doubt. Finishes that reminded people why patience once surrounded his name. Crowds reacted late, as if surprised by what they'd just seen. In big matches, he stayed calm. In chaotic moments, he stayed precise. Managers noticed something subtle. He didn't demand the ball, but when it arrived, he respected it. And slowly, his presence felt necessary again. Not essential, not guaranteed, but trusted. Because some players fight for attention. Others earn confidence by not wasting it. Marco Asensio was becoming reliable in a place that rarely offers second chances. Moments don't ask for permission. Big clubs don't remember consistency alone. They remember moments. At Real Madrid, Marco Asensio learned that timing matters more than volume. He wasn't always on the team sheet. He wasn't always the first option. But when the match tilted, he was ready. Finals arrived. Super Cups, Champions League nights. And Asensio didn't hesitate. A first touch, a glance, a strike from distance that felt inevitable. The ball traveled fast, clean, precise, and forgiving. Crowds erupted. Teammates ran. He stayed calm. Because he understood something simple. Moments don't need repetition. They need clarity. Trophies stacked quietly. Medals followed seasons. While others argued their importance, Asensio let the scoreboard speak. Goals in finals. Goals in knockouts. Goals when space disappeared. Not flashy. Not forced. Just decisive. In a squad filled with legends, he carved a different role. The man for the opening goal. The shot when defenses step back. The calm presence when chaos builds. Madrid trusted him, not blindly, but purposefully. And that trust, earned slowly, was enough. Because not every legend shouts. Some leave their mark with one perfect strike when it matters most. Choosing a new silence. Every story reaches a pause. At Real Madrid, Marco Asensio had won everything a player could dream of. Titles, final goals, moments that would never fade. But football is not only about what you win, it's about what you become. Minutes became uncertain again. The future unclear. He could stay, safe, respected, remembered. Or he could leave, risk comfort, chase identity. Asensio chose movement. Leaving Madrid wasn't rejection. It was honesty. He needed rhythm, continuity, a place where silence could turn into leadership. At Paris Saint-Germain, the environment was different. New language, new pressure, new expectations. He wasn't a prodigy anymore. He wasn't a backup either. He was a professional seeking definition. Matches demanded presence. Responsibility grew. And Asensio answered not with noise, but with intent. Goals arrived with meaning. Performances carried weight. No nostalgia, no regret, because some chapters must end for the story to breathe again. Marco Asensio didn't leave Madrid to escape history. He left to write his own. The weight of quiet excellence. Not every legacy is loud. Some are precise. As Marco Asensio entered maturity, football no longer asked who he could become. It asked who he was. At Paris Saint-Germain, he carried himself differently. Calmer, clearer, and hurried. He no longer chased moments. He selected them. Touches were deliberate. Decisions cleaner. Responsibility accepted without announcement. Experience replaced impatience. And that was his final evolution. Looking back, his journey was never about dominance. It was about timing. Goals in finals. Strikes when games froze. Calm when pressure suffocated others. At Real Madrid, he left behind more than trophies. He left reliability. The kind clubs trust when chaos arrives. Asensio will not be remembered for shouting louder than legends. He will